There are these amazing people who make like 2.5-minute tutorials how to play the A minor chord, and those people are my heroes because they taught me how to play guitar.
Well, if you don't like girls that are stronger than you, and if you don't like girls that are faster than you, and if you don't like girls that are smarter than you, well, then you might not like me, might not like me.
When I was a little kid, actually, my grandparents were around a lot, and they would be cooking dinner in the kitchen, and they would sing these like old 40s like standards to each other, like duet style, and I just remember being like at the kitchen counter just like soaking it up, and I think subconsciously just thinking like whatever that is, I want to make that my life. And my grandfather always says he taught me how to sing. My dad had this old guitar in the corner of our house, and one night I just thought, you know what, I just want to do something totally unrelated to school and extracurriculars. I just want to play that. And so I ended up like playing it and teaching myself how to play chords to play songs, and then like a year later I started writing my own song. I didn't get into Harvard when I first applied, and I was like, oh, this is so sad. So I actually spent a year doing music full time. And then I reapplied to Harvard, and that's when I got in. So I got into songwriting and production in that, and I think I just became more of myself that year. The EP that I released last fall, my first ever EP, Time of Our Lives, is like a series of 5 songs that I wrote over the 4 years in school. So like Might Not Like Me, I wrote my sophomore year of college. And it was during this time when I was in this relationship with this guy, and I felt like I couldn't really be my full self with him. I felt like I had to kind of like not like back off, and like I was a little extra for him. But at the same time, I was in a class on women in philosophy in the 1600s England. And these women weren't given philosophy education. They weren't really included in any kind of educational circle. And they just said, okay, we don't care, we're still gonna write our own philosophy. And so I was so inspired by them. So Might Not Like Me really came from me reading these women and me experiencing a similar thing in my life. And then the song just came, and it was like, I don't care what anyone thinks about me, I'm gonna be who I am. So yeah, that song came, and then Internet You was a song I wrote about like dating in college with the internet and the age of the internet and how awkward that can be, because you see people on their Instagram feeds, and then you see them over coffee or wherever you're doing, and you're like, this is very different from what I saw on the internet. So that was something that I experienced, and I took a bunch of classes about the internet, philosophy classes about like, why on Facebook do we have a like button, or like, why do we have comment section? Like, what's the point of that? I love performing these songs for people, and just performing in general is like why I do what I do, because I think it's so beautiful how you can take something and you can experience something and write something, and other people can kind of like grab on to their own experience. And that sort of for me was like why I studied philosophy in the first place, because like universal ideas and experiences are so important, and I think that's like the foundations of songwriting. And every Sunday I have this thing called Nerdy Girl Sunday, like hashtag Nerdy Girl Sunday, where I post a quote from something I've read during the week, and I like post a little like, you know, little like thought, a little mini essay about it. And I ask my followers to send me their favorite quotes and kind of like their take on their quote, and then I repost that. So I've really tried to open up the conversation on kind of my social platforms, and I've been super inspired by that as well. So there might be some songs inspired by fans talking to me about what their